Today we're going to talk about making the team. And recently I've come to know a professional football player. His name's Jacoby McDaniel. Jacoby is an undrafted free agent from Florida State University that joined the Cleveland Browns last year. And I call him a friend. I got to know him through a client down in Florida. And I'll tell you what, these guys, he was on that team of national champions, Florida State University. And I didn't know those guys got rings, but my goodness, he's got a ring that hardly I can't imagine picking up on your hand. But you earn that national title championship, and they got wonderful rings from that. But last week, Jacoby invited me into the friends and family tent for training camp, and I was a guest there. And they do very nice for the players' families and friends that want to come and watch him at the training camp practice and such. But I think there's something we can learn about that experience with our car dealerships today. Now, an undrafted free agent, they do have a contract. However, in Jacoby's case, and I'm sure a lot of these players, they don't have guarantees. If he doesn't make the team this year, he basically doesn't have a job. Now, a lot of those contracts for the top-tier players are guaranteed. Jacoby's in a situation there is no guarantee. Obviously, in the training camp, the entire team does whatever they can do to impress the coaching staff as they make decisions on who will make the roster this year. The effort and energy involved in the preparation for practice is substantial. I really believe some of this structure would benefit our daily efforts in our dealerships. What if dealership employees had an annual renewable contract and must qualify to make the roster for this year? Would your management coaches tolerate individual performances as easily that weren't productive? I'm sure they'd look at drafting team members from other dealerships and recruiting upcoming stars to be a part of the team. The dealership environment must be based on the realization that we are a professional team. You know, I can't tell you how many countless times I hear about this individual employee that's tolerated. It could be even that they're treating the customers poorly, or they're treating other dealership employees poorly, or their attitude's bad. If you go over the many experiences I've had, I'll bet there's someone in your team that's coming to mind. Well, they've been here for so long that they're just tolerated. But if you look at our structure in the dealership and understand, hey, we're a professional team. This is how we make our living. Better take it serious. This is what we do for a living. We are, by that definition, a professional team. And you look at the statistics from the professional teams, and everyone knows their numbers. They're public. They count and measure everything. How many tackles? How many tackles they have? What the average run is? Passing percentages, quarterback ratings. Everything is looked at and monitored. And then the fans often say, gosh, wish they'd trade for this person, or we need a quarterback. Whatever that situation is, we are, in that regard, not that distinctly different. We have advisor ratings, and we have customer satisfaction ratings, and we have people in our team that aren't pulling their weight. We know that there's an issue, and I tell you what, the structure of the professional team, when these coaches were out there, they weren't running plays and not talking to the team. They'd go right out and get involved with them, coach them for improvement, and these players were very attentive. They have to be. There's going to be some serious cuts in the team in the next several weeks for professional football. They have to be attentive. The coaches have to be impressed. They have to choose the members that are going to be on that team. But one of the things I think is a need for us today in the dealership environment is we can no longer overlook issues in our team. We have to be sharp. We have to be detailed. You know, these players have playbooks they're handed out. And can you imagine if the team had a situation where only certain players were following the play? They didn't understand the playbook and the quarterback called a play, and 4 or 5 of the team members didn't know what in the world they were supposed to do? Do you see that kind of professionalism in our business? Not very often. So many times we allow reasons or excuses to not follow the playbook. We can say we want a customer intake process, and we don't do it. Why? Well, Tom's on vacation, or we do it when we have time. There's not a professional team out there that doesn't have a playbook. Guess what? They better know every play in it, or these coaches aren't going to select them. Now, I understand, and I don't expect that any dealership is going to go to an annual renewable contract, that they select every year the members that are going to be on the team. I'll tell you what, though, I think we should adapt some of these professional attitudes into our dealership world. We should have that attitude that we're not going to tolerate anything less from following the playbook. We're not going to tolerate somebody because they've been here for 25 years or they're related. We're going to play by the same rules. We're going to have the expectation that when someone comes in and does business at the dealership, they're treated in a certain manner. There's a playbook in how they're greeted, how they're treated, how we process that in through the service department, how we order parts, follow up with that person, let them know the parts are in, what day will that be in. We monitor our schedule and how from start to finish their experience is maximized. There are some things we need to get from these professional teams. And I hope everyone on this call makes it a mission to improve your professionalism, your training standards, and your individual coaching that'll take your team to the next level. Thanks for your time, and we'll talk to you next week.
Have some exciting news for you. We just announced September 15 and 16 here in Cleveland, Ohio. We're going to have our next Service Manager Training School. It's 2 days out of the dealership where we can totally focus in on putting an action plan together and understanding your dealership's performance. You want to take your service management skills to the next level. We'll see you there. Cleveland, Ohio, September 15 and 16.